Hi. Good evening, everyone who are present today. And thank you, Shiabuddin and Brillianton Global Education, for giving me this opportunity to talk, share my journey, and probably inspire you at the end. Maknoon has already covered a lot of things. I would rather follow some of the points that have been provided, and I would try to answer those points so that we can both we together can provide at the end as much information possible to you guys. So, a brief introduction, education, and career about me. I come from West Bengal and I have done my basic schooling over there. Post that, I did a BTech in computer science and engineering. After that, I started working in some IT professional companies. And then it was like 4 years I have been working over there. And finally, during the COVID time, I got a chance to rethink. Now, this part I quickly covered basic educations and my BTech, not very important details. But now it's interesting part that's coming. Why I took a pause, why I decided to think that what I want. So my childhood days had been a bit challenging financially, as well as I belong from the marginalized community. So availability of resources was also very less. One of the stark things that I had faced during those time was to stand in queues in order to collect enough water for our daily purposes. And my house is also just beside a riverside. So this contrasting thing actually clicked in my mind, or used to like kind of force me to think that when there is a river flowing, and yet why do I have a shortage of water? These kind of very childish questions actually lead to bigger questions later in my life. And then I started finding those answers to those questions, and I really understood that it's not about scarcity of water, it is about management of water, it is about governance of water, and so on. Other issues are there which are actually interrelated, and that's the reason there are a lot of water crises all across the world nowadays. And probably one of the reasons countries are getting into wars as well. So that was the thing within me always that I wanted to address, because I had faced that kind of challenge during my early days, but I never had an opportunity to do that. Given financial constraint, and I was pushed into a engineering background, and I was taught in a way that after completing your graduation you should get a job and you start working over there. So that was a predefined story that has been provided to me. But when I got a chance, when I was growing financially strong, and I was able to think of my own life, then I decided that no, I should address the problems that I wanted to during my child days. I should choose academia because I really want to contribute to research work. So that pause during the COVID 19 gave me enough time to rethink on my life and to get into academia back. So I decided that, okay, fine, the next step would be probably to apply for a master's. But I had not enough knowledge. I didn't have any resources at that time to understand how to apply, even how to apply to higher education, be it in India or across the globe. Somehow I got connected over LinkedIn to a person, and it was that person I remember, and I would like to share this small information with you guys. That he asked me that, where do you want to do your masters from? And I said that wherever the financial constraints are less. So that was my limited knowledge at that time when I was trying to apply for my masters for the first time. So it was then I slowly started connecting with a lot of people, like-minded people, as well as people who had been past scholars and all. So from there, I extracted as much as information possible. Those information helped me in order to get an offer, in order to crack the scholarship, and later several things that I have been doing in recent 2 to 3 years. So that's a very brief thing about my story. Now, more interesting parts are the questions that would help you. Why UK? Why UK? I chose. I think I gave a very brief answer. It was those person who told me. So basically, UK because of number one is an English-speaking country, and I was not aware of other languages like for France you need to kind of know French. If Germany is a free country, like as in they provide education at a very low cost, but then you need to know or aware of German language, which I was not aware of. So I basically decided to choose two countries, UK and Ireland. Those were the two countries that I selected. So that's one of the reason for choosing UK. The second reason was it was kind of at the, so I was always interested about environmental studies, climate studies, although I'm coming from a very technical background. But I was, since that little story I shared about my past, so I wanted to change my direction, get into these interdisciplinary areas. And UK is one of the country that's standing at the forefront when it comes to fighting climate changes. And also it is one of the country that provides you in lots of interdisciplinary courses. Your background definitely matters, but given your background, if you can align your interest with your background, I felt UK is one of the country that still will provide you the opportunity. So these two are the primary reasons, and the third reason for me, it was very subjective to me. UK is one of the country that does a very excellent has done excellent thing in their managing their water resources. So in short, the SDG 6, the Sustainable Development Goal 6, clean water and sanitation. So I wanted to go to that country. I wanted to learn how they are managing this stuff, how they are providing potable drinking water to everyone, and what are the water infrastructures over there, what are the technologies they are using. So I wanted to learn those things. So basic, these three reasons why I chose UK. The next one is why I decided to aim for Chevening. So I didn't just decide to aim for Chevening, to be very honest. I decided to apply for several other scholarships apart from Chevening. I applied for Great Scholarship. I applied for Commonwealth Master Scholarship. I applied for Chevening, and apart from these fully funded leadership based scholarships, I also applied for some departmental and school provided scholarships as well. The reason was very simple. I Since I come from a technical background, my thought process are also kind of like that. The number of, when you increase the number of scholarships you are applying, your chances probability score basically gets high. So that's a very generalized answer, that why I chose so many scholarships instead of just choosing one. The more you apply, the better your chances to get a one. Then long term goal. The goal was to address the water scarcity. But how to address the water scarcity, coming from a computer science background and willing to do a data science, was the real challenge for me. So I spent something around, I will say, 3 to 4 months just to think of this part, how to bridge my previous education to something that I wanted to do. I just didn't wanted to get a master's and get a job and then get a better life. I really wanted to address the problem that I had in my mind. For that reason, it took me to go through a lot of papers, lot of articles, what are the contemporary research that is being going on at that time, and what are the latest ones and what are yet to be addressed. So I can have a holistic understanding of this problem, the way I can contribute there basically. So my long-term goal was divided in three basically portions. One was water infrastructure, how to generate a lot of potable drinkable water from let's say seawater or something like that. The next was to how to develop or inform from my research, how to inform the policies later on, that what kind of policies would be suitable for India, and also to understand what are the SDG matrix that has been defined by our government over here, and what are the progress in those matrix, how much is yet to be done and all. So these are mostly my long term goals. there was. The second question, the second part is Chevening application strategy. I think again, Hanan, sorry, yes. The previous speaker actually talked a bit about Chevening thing. Why I applied for Chevening, I gave the answer that I didn't apply for Chevening. I applied for a lot of other scholarships, but Chevening is one of those scholarships where they value equally your educational qualities as well as your leadership abilities. It is one of the most prestigious scholarship considered. Okay, there would be controversies. Commonwealth scholars will say we are also prestigious, but let's say Commonwealth and Chevening are the two most prestigious and flagship scholarship. So once you crack this scholarship, it's not just about getting the funding to go there and studying or doing completing your masters. You get several other opportunities apart from the funding part he covered. You get monthly stipend, you get fare tickets and all, but they conduct lots of networking events. Those networking events, if one can utilize properly, can then further build their network, which will open more opportunities or future opportunities for them. Apart from then, when you come back to your country, even then also they don't forget you, that okay, fine, I have given you the scholarship, now we are done. No, they don't. They actually keep connecting with you, inviting you on several occasions. So these things I spent a lot of time. One of the main reason I got to know about all these things before applying was I spent a lot of time in the Chevening portal. It's a simple like site, chevening.org. You hit on the Google and you will find it. And I spent nearly 1 to 2 months, again the time period, over there to understand what are the requirements, what they do after the scholarship and all. So all the information that one person can have about Chevening is probably available on that scholarship. When you go through this portal, you hit the different hyperlinks from there, and you get to know at least 60 to 70% of idea about what Chevening wants from you, what Chevening will provide you, and what are Chevening looking for in their scholars they would be selecting. Structure of the essay, the next point is so generally there are four main pillars of Chevening. That is leadership, the second one is networking, the third one is why UK and why your particular university or course, and the fourth one is career plans. Now previously it was 500 words when I applied. I am a 2022-23 scholar, but now last year, to my best knowledge, they had changed some of the criteria and they have shortened that 500 word limit to 300. So now it is more brief, and you have to fit in your whatever thoughts in yourself, how you are describing your leadership, networking within those 300 things. Leadership, I will suggest what I did with that 500 words. I gave three leadership examples. Networking, equally I gave three networking examples, and then why UK, and why your particular university would again be very subjective. But you have to be careful about that thing, that just sometimes people do this kind of things, that they go to the portal and the course they are trying to apply, and in the course there is a brochure thing or something written, basic details of the course. So they take lines from those particular things and write those, that this is the reason I'm choosing this course. No, you have to be specific. Be as much specific as possible when you are saying that why I have chosen UK. For me, said that there are three reasons why I chose UK. For you, it can be slightly different or it can be completely different, but be specific of why you chose UK. Similar way, when I chose Leeds during my masters, one of the reason was in Leeds there was a research center that is known as Water at the Red Leeds. Now that was very much aligned to my goals, so that's the reason I chose Leeds over there. So I wrote that thing. So try to be as much specific when you say that this is the course I am choosing. Even in that third question, I will spend some more time in leadership and networking, but I'm just trying to talk about the third question, that why UK and why any university or something. So professor, sometime if you do a bit of research, you will try, you will get to know that what kind of professors are there, what they are working in, and particular your research interest area. So it is very good that if you could connect with those professors early and say that I'm interested to apply for a course, and write those things even in your SOP, and probably in your Chevening scholarships as well, that okay, there is this professor, I have connected with this professor, he is working or she they are working in this particular area, so I want to work under their guidance. These kind of details, when you provide them, it makes your application stand out from other, because everyone else, like per year, I think last year it crossed 1 lakh application, but in our time, like nearly 60,000 applications were applied for Chevening globally. Everyone would be writing all the good things about Chevening, UK, a particular university, let's say Oxford, Manchester, or Leeds. But what specific in you would stand you out from the crowd? That's what I feel. The next was leadership and impact. Here I got the chance to talk about leadership as well. And I will also talk about another point, that what most applicant mistake while writing about kind of these essays. So I have been working with certain organizations that help people in order to get these scholarships, go for global educations. From that experience, I have seen that there is a tendency of people to write as much as they can, like everything they want to write about their whole life in those two essays, 500, 500, 500, 1000, or 300, 300, 600. But it's not possible. They will be just stating data in those particular, or information. Just giving information is not enough. The most important thing about cracking a scholarship is how well your entire four essay is structured, starting from leadership to the career plan, whether what you have written in your leadership, or during any challenge that you have mentioned in your leadership, whether do you have any plan to address those in your career plans, or you have just written something out of the sky in your leadership, and you have no plans to address those in your career plans. That makes your application, I would say, weak in front of others, because this applicant or this candidate doesn't have a clear plan. Once he is talking about aspect X or ABC, any aspect, and then in their career plans or in their networking, there is no connection with those ABC points. So it is about connecting the essays, or how we call it, sieving. So you have to sieve the entire story in a way that from the top to the bottom everything is connected, and entirely when one person reviewer goes through that application, can get a clear picture of what has happened with you, how you have uh, like showed your leadership skills on ground in your academic career, or how you have connected, what kind of people you have connected for your networking essay. And then that person or that applicant wants to do this particular course, uh, so there is a connection, okay, fine, this is their background. Now there is a problem that person has, or the applicant has identified. The applicant has also mentioned about those problems in their previous two leadership and networking essays. Finally, they want to get through a course which will empower them with more information, skills, as in the say. And then finally, taking those skills now from UK, or during your master's course, you want to apply that in your career plan. So that's the flow that should be. So when I wrote my application, I mentioned in the leadership the water scarcity that I faced, how I was trying to work in ground in order to change those things. Then what kind of people I connected with, what kind of technologies those people talked to me about. When I tried to apply those applications in my work, then I failed. And it is very important. I took a pause and tried to like emphasize on this part. There is no harm in talking in your Chevening application, especially, and also as well in your Commonwealth or this scholarship application, that you failed at something. You are not a robot. We are not a robot or AI thing that we won't fail. So it is important to reflect on this part, that we have failed trying, and that's why we want to go to UK in order to gain further education, so that now I can gain that skill which I am lacking. That makes again things very believable, that it makes the story very believable every time. If people says like this, I have seen that they say, I have done this, I have done that, I have done that, this, I have connected to these peoples, so everything they have done already. So what's the point of you trying to apply for a scholarship like these leadership based example scholarships? What's the point of going to UK for a master's? You have all the skills, you said, you have done everything, you said. So it's important to talk about failures, but also to write the failures in a way that is as in to say that it gives you a channel, it gives you a new direction, and that's the reason you are applying for a course, that's the reason you are applying for a scholarship. So challenge during application, the next point. And if I'm leaving behind any points, please do feel free to ask me questions after this session. So challenge during application, I think I mentioned the word limit is one of the challenge during application. Trying to write everything that you have done in your life is a big challenge and hurdle. For at least for me, it was. So it is advisable that you choose relevant examples of your life. Let's say I have five very good leadership example, but I need not have to write five examples. Given the story that I'm trying to share with them, three are most relevant to that like story. So I will try to write those three leadership examples or three networking examples. Again, another thing, I think I also like talked a bit about that try to connect things. Your leadership examples should complement your networking examples as well. Your leadership problems should complement why you are choosing a course to study in UK, and kind of course you are choosing in UK should complement the career plans that you have in future. Interview experience and preparation, I think he already mentioned a very good he gave very good information about this interview thing. It's not something that they are asking to grill you. They have already selected you, so you are already in their eyes. Your application caught their attention. But sometime again, these 500 words, 300 words are not enough to describe everything, so they are giving you another opportunity now, that let's connect over a meeting, or previously it used to happen in person, now it is completely online. So connect over online and tell us more about your story. We are interested. That is their attitude basically. When I was also very scared while going for this interview, but the way they treated me, they were very kind. They will calm you down first of all, and then they will ask or throw some questions to you, and they just basically want to know more about your interesting story. They are already interested in you. So the more confident you sound during interview, the more information, relevant information again, you give them during their interview, increases your chance or the credibility of getting the scholarship. Now, third point is University of Leeds and Manchester journey. So I have actually done my master's from University of Leeds. Currently, I am doing my PhD from University of Manchester. So I applied during my masters. I applied for Manchester as well and for Leeds as well. But at that point, due to certain things, Leeds seemed more connected with my goals, and I didn't wanted to take a chance. So I let go Manchester basically, even it was a better university ranking. And I actually faced this question during my interview, that why not Manchester, which was my first choice, and Leeds was my second choice. So you basically have to give them three choices, or at least that was the case with our when I applied. Three university courses. I went for my second one, even though I had offer from Manchester and Leeds that time. So I got a point that I basically want to work as much closely possible with water at Leeds Research Center. And sometimes these, sorry. So sometimes these kind of tricks you can apply in your life as well, in your journey as well, like applying for the university and for the scholarship as well. That what will make me stand out. So I gave them that opportunity to rethink that, okay, someone is letting go a QS rank of
Absolutely.
30 for a QS rank of 70 because he felt that his story or his journey is more aligned to that particular university because of these XYZ reasons. That's one thing. University of Leeds shortlisting your course and university. So again, this to answer this question, how I shortlisted my course and university, I would again reflect back to one of the question I answered, or we started with, why UK. Again, UK is one of those countries where you will find the most friendly website portal, like application portal. You try to apply for Germany, you try to apply for other countries, and you will find the application portal not at all user friendly. But for UK and Ireland, this is extremely user friendly. You just have to go to that particular university website. You will find see some study at the top bar. You will find that there is study, research, collaborate, this that. In study you will find undergraduate, master's courses. So it is very easy for everyone to go through and navigate through the courses. As my previous speaker said, that the next important part is, while choosing the course, is to see and go through the entry requirements or the eligibility criteria. Now, while he gave focus on that number, like let's say they want a CGPA of 8 and you do have a CGPA of 7, there is no point of applying to that course at all. But also, apart from CGPA, let's say you are eligible as per your academic records, but you still have to see that what else they are looking for. Do you have the particular modules they are looking for? Sometimes it happens that I did a bachelor's in, let's say, computer application and not a BTech, and you find some courses in computer science over there, or you'd want to do a master's in data science. You felt that, okay, fine, I'm coming from a computer science background, so I'll easily go and apply for this data science course. No, they have different schools. They have school of mathematics, they have school of computer science, and they have school of business. Three schools giving you computer, like masters in data science. Now, which particular master of data science is aligned with you is very important. Like some school requires a lot of mathematical modules that you have previously completed. So that part is very important, that if you do not have those mathematical components, then you probably have to sorry, I'm seeing some screen, I don't know, in between. But let me continue. So if you do not have those components, then it will be very difficult for you to get through. But from the course that is offered by School of Computer Science, probably that course complements your BTech or undergraduate. So you should go to and apply to particularly that course. So that's one of the way to find the courses over there. What my SOP focused. So SOP for me was a four structured thing. First, as my previous speaker also mentioned, that give a brief about what is the problem, what is the context that you are trying to set. Okay, I have identified a problem, so give a brief about the problem, give some data over there, give some relevance article, probably that, okay, I have read from there that this is a global crisis. For those who are willing to work in environmental sector, climate sector, try to connect your stories with UN SDG goals, because they love hearing that how well your story aligned with some of the SDG goals. And not just from for climate, there are several 17 total SDG goals. You can go through those SDG goals and try to connect your story with one of those SDG goals and try to mention that. The next part is talking briefly about your background, what you have done, your academic background, your professional background. Again, not overwhelming them or the reviewer with lots of information and just data, because in our world of data science, we say that data doesn't make sense. We have to do some kind of modeling or analysis to make that data into knowledge. Knowledge makes sense. To try to give them relevant information, not just data about yourself, because that's very irrelevant and boring to read, and they will soon lose their interest in your application. The next part is why you are choosing their particular university. Try to talk as much about their university, being genuine and specific. Again, that is the specific word is very important. Why you are trying to apply, not what they have advertised in their portal for a general student. Why you are trying to apply. And finally, the fourth is the career plans, that why, what you want to achieve after these, how that particular course would empower you, what are those lackings that you think that the course will complement or provide you, and through that or gaining those skills and knowledge, you will be able to do better in your life. This is for SOP. It is almost the same structure that particular Chevening also follows, but just that there are award limit of, let's say, 800. Sometime it is for Manchester it is 500, for Leeds it was 1000, and for Chevening it is very specific that 300, 300. And it's not necessary always to talk a lot about leadership and networking in your SOP when you are applying for the university offers. Again, another point is getting the university offer sometime becomes easy if you are not trying for, let's say, particularly in UK, I would say three universities: Oxford, Cambridge, and ICL. Here getting the offer letters are very difficult, very competitive, but not for the other rest of the, let's say, top 10 UK universities. You, if you have eligible grades, if you have done good enough work in your life, in your academic journey, then you would probably get an offer from there. The challenging part comes of getting a full funded scholarship and to financially support your education over there. And then what else? Handling offers and rejections. So here I want to briefly mention that I have applied for almost 17 universities in UK. I had a lot of offer letters from there. I had rejections also from Imperial College. I was rejected. I didn't choose to apply for Oxford or Cambridge because of lack of confidence that time. uh, I had rejections from Glasgow, I think I remember. But again, I had offer letters from some UCL, I had offer letters from. So it depends again that how your background is connected to that particular course. Invest your time in choosing the course, understanding the eligibility criteria, entry requirements, what the core pillars of that university or that department you are going for. These things matters. It may sound secondary, but when you are reflecting in your SOP, these things matters. So please give some time over there. Where most applicants get wrong, I think I have mostly covered this part, that SOP and SA mistakes, leadership misconception. Okay, leadership misconception. So while talking about Chevening, I would also say that sometimes people feel that leadership means I have to do extraordinary things in order to make them believe that you are an exceptional candidate. But leadership does not always means that you have to gather 1,000 people, you have to mobilize 1,000 people, or make a change in life of 1,000 people. Even bringing on a change in life of 10 people makes you a leader. For example, I would be very honest here. When I started my leadership application, I started in a very simple way, that this ability of influencing people inculcated me when I was at my school. When I was given the school like prefect badge, so I was given the badge to monitor the class just. So that was the very basic time when this ability to influence people, to talk to others, to understand their problems and then try to solve that, inculcated in me. So that's how you should see leadership, as not just always that I'm a mass leader, and if I'm not a mass leader then there is no leadership abilities. Let them decide whether you have leadership abilities or not. Do not judge, do not judge yourself as whether I'm a leader or not. Just write your story, simple way, genuine, specific, and relevant to the point, obviously. Do not feel bad that I am not as famous as someone. Sometimes it happens that when we look for these applications, we try to we try to find that look for in LinkedIn, and then we see that, oh my god, these people have done so much of the things. They have thousands of followers. Do not get overwhelmed or intimidated by those things. When I applied for Chevening, I had hardly 500 followers in my LinkedIn profile. I had hardly done much of, like, I had never been to UN. I had never been to a government body. Let's say I have never worked for those, but yet I was selected for Chevening on my first attempt because I was very specific that I knew what I am doing, what I am applying for, and those particular things. So that would be my suggestion to you all, that be specific, and do not worry. Unless you try, you never know that whether you will be successful or not. So try, that's more important. Technically thinking, apply as much as you possible. That increases your probability of getting at least 1 out of 5 scholarships. So yeah. And why grades alone doesn't work? Grades, because for the scholarships as well as for the SOPs, or the university applicants, so they kind of looking for enthusiast, those who are passionate to basically, just apart from being a very well educated or excellent brilliant mind, they are looking for those passionate minds who are willing to come here, contribute to the bilateral relationship between India and UK. One aspect, important aspect I got, like, it just came through my mind now while talking about this. In your Chevening application, it is very important to focus on this bilateral relationship. So for example, again, I will try to give it through my example. When I was talking about my career plans, I mentioned about free trade agreement which has been signed recently between India and UK, and at that time it was still in a drafting phase. They were going through that processes and what could be included. I somehow find some sort of document over internet. I went through those 600 pages to understand where are the water elements over here, what kind of things they are trying to uh, uh, develop as a bilateral relationship, prioritize in their relationship. So try to include this kind of information as much in your application. And okay, I will do this. This will enhance the bilateral relationship. There is a dearth of particularly X thing in India. I will learn that X thing from what UK and try to apply in ground over India. So yeah, that's what basically selectors are also looking for in you, that how much you have invested yourself in the entire process. Academic advice: how early should you prepare? You should prepare as early as possible. For me, it was 5 to 6 months before. I already told you I spent a lot of months going through the university portal, going through the Chevening portal, and I found almost 70 to 80% information available over there. Apart from that, what kind of tools and resources I used? I definitely used LinkedIn. As I was a data scientist, I use some particularly technical or computer science related portals as well. Then from there, I connected with like-minded people, also people who are in this interdisciplinary area of bringing their technical abilities in water sector or climate sector. So try to connect with them, try to know. So you may not gain something, someone who's, let's say, working in Portugal, you may find that you may not gain something because you are trying to apply for UK, but you might gain an idea, and an idea can change our application, our life. So that's very important, that you connect. That's the reason why you connect with people, because you can gain ideas from them. What school students should do now? So that's a very, I know, uh, I don't know, it's a difficult question for me to answer at this point, but I would say that sometime we can build our own stories. uh, it need not have to be written, as I said, just the way it was presented to you. We can write our own story. So in order to write our own story, this is, it's very excellent for school students to start thinking about what they want to do in their bachelor's, and after bachelor's what they want to do. Let's say a school student already listening to this and have an idea of going abroad, so they can start thinking that what next I have to do. So it is your journey, or it gonna be your life, so you can plan it accordingly. Now you have resources, now you are getting to know first-hand information from people who have studied in Oxford, people who have studied in Manchester. So they are giving you information, so you can plan your journey in that particular way already. So try to place those blocks, and then it would be a very easy route for you to crack these scholarships and these kind of universities. Building leadership and impact, as I said, it can be very small, sometime it can be very big. I am not like saying that doing big things and doesn't take a lot. It takes a lot for them to reach to that position, to mobilize and influence so many people with their kind of thoughts, to understand their problem and bring a solution to that. But if you have done anything in your school, college, in your community level, at a very local scale as well, write them without any fear, because unless you write, you just never know. That's what I have been always advised by someone, that unless you know, write, unless you apply, you never get to know that whether you had the potential or not. Tools and resources, I said that yes, YouTube is another good tool. There are several past Chevening scholars, Commonwealth scholars, who have made a lot of videos and detailed videos, how to write essays even. Like I remember there was one during my time, Jamil or someone from Iran, I think. He was also a Chevening scholar. He made a very, very interesting video on how to write application, where from to start, because starting the application is the most difficult part. Once you start written one page, then you completely, it will be very easy for you to complete the rest of the pages or rest of the questions. But starting, where to start, how to start, is the challenge. So go out, reach out to YouTube, find those like Chevening scholarship type and all those things, and then you will get a lot of resources over there. Apart from this, there are organizations and platforms like Brillianton who are helping students also. So that's perfect, you have now lots of resources about this. Final takeaway, one honest lesson, I have been repeating this one thing, that be genuine, be specific. That's what makes you a Chevening scholar, that would make you a Commonwealth scholar, let's say. If you try to imitate someone, that will never make you a scholar. At that point, you might gain something from XYZ, some person, and you try to copy all their things in your story, that has already been sold. When you write your scholarship essays or SOPs, like, don't be offended, don't get offended by that, but basically you are selling yourself, you are selling your story. So you have to sell a new story every time you write, uh, or at least unless you get selected for that particular thing. Once you get selected, that story is old now, it's already sold. So that's one thing. Long term mindset, yes, always whenever you plan, you have to plan that how well your career plans are aligned with your goals. While writing the career plans, both in your SOP as well as in your scholarship, always do remember that try to write it in three steps: short term career plans, mid term career plans, and long term. Short term, what I immediately want to do after my completing my master's education. So for me, it was always PhD, because I know that for one year of data science course is not enough to give me a understanding of this area. And also I was coming from computer science background. Right now I am working in climate models, which are one of the largest models humans have ever made. So this particular hydrology climate thing was very new to me. So my immediate plan was to do a PhD after that. Following that, I have some short term goals of working in, let's say, UN bodies, different. And my long term plan was to get into government agencies or work with think tanks of India, and try to address the policies, which I very early, I think, during the start of the session, I mentioned that my policy oriented work, what I want to do. Yes, and encouragement for aspirants. One thing is that I was a very, very average student. I was a very average student. I belong from you all, actually. Imagine, I maybe 3 years back, I was maybe listening to some of these kind of conversations, and trying to understand that what leaders things like, what scholars things like. And right now I am here and trying to share my journey, or tried to share my journey and information with you guys. So I think that's one of the best encouragement, rather than quoting some lines from somewhere, that if I can be here, then you too can be here. If I belong here, then you all belong here as well. So thank you. Yeah, yeah.